come back over. And when I come back over, I will come back
You're
over.
live. You're live right now.
Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, y'all.
You did it, Dorothy.
I did it. Facebook has changed. When I come back over, I will come back over.
You're live. You're live right now.
Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, y'all. Now
You did it, Dorothy.
I did it. Facebook has changed. When I come back over, I will come back. I don't know why is it repeating.
You're live right now.
Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Uh-oh.
Now
You did it, Dorothy.
I did it. Facebook has changed.
Oh my goodness.
Why is it repeating like that?
You're live right now.
Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God.
Oh, something went wrong somewhere.
You did it, Dorothy.
Has changed.
We're stuck in Groundhog Day. Oh my God.
Okay. I gotta figure this out. Let me go. Oh my
Oh,
God.
something went wrong somewhere.
Has changed.
Oh, stuck in Groundhog Day. Oh my God.
Okay. I gotta. Oh wow, that was so crazy.
Is that because you're watching it at the same time you're recording it? No, that was something even different. That was, I don't even know what that was.
Like we were stuck in a twilight zone.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like to me. It kind of spooked me a little.
Yeah, it was. I because I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't pull it up on my phone. I've closed all of the browsers out. So I was just gonna say, Camille, you got it on. What's no? Okay. All right. Well, I guess I can say we're back then. So we're live, and it's just us one. You won't hear us hopefully repeating stuff all over again. So I want to welcome you to our Thursday Porch Talk show with Katie Rampen, and we have some amazing information to share with you. I want to welcome the fabulous Camille Robb. Hello, everybody. Thanks for taking the time to come and sit with us for a little while. So I want to give you a little information about Katie, okay? So Katie Rampen is a two-time breast cancer survivor, mother, and breast cancer recovery advocate, helping women navigate a breast cancer diagnosis for themselves and avoid reoccurrence. Her mission is to educate and empower women to lead a happy, healthy life free from breast cancer. This is a short story about Katie. Despite living what she thought was a healthy lifestyle in 2012, Katie was diagnosed with breast cancer. Not knowing anything about cancer, she trusted the medical establishment to cure her and teach her how to prevent a reoccurrence. After realizing her doctor did not have the answer she sought, Katie spent the next 8 years researching cancer and health in general. She discovered a lot of eye opening, little known information that made her realize we each need her, we each in general need to discover a lot of eye opening, little known information that makes us realize that we need what she has. So I'm going to let her tell you a little about what else she wants to share with us and everything. But first, I want to say, before I give you all of the messages that I have, is that I too had breast cancer in 2012. I'll never forget it. And I had my surgery on Valentine's Day.
Wow.
So, one of the things that I want to share with everybody today is that we have a few things going on around us. I have to mention that Patricia Roger has an event going on later on this afternoon, going from surviving to thriving. And then we also have at the end of the month Porch Talk. Friends and family reunion coming up. We'll put all the information in the comments section. So, whether you're watching us live or whether you come back and watch the replay, comment, okay? What would be a scary thing for you to find out about breast cancer? Have you had your examination, and is the doctor giving you the information that you need? So I'm going to turn this part over to Katie and let her get us started. And now you know me, I'll be back and forth, coming back, talking. So Katie,
Oh
give us
yeah.
what you
Oh
got.
yeah, definitely jump in because you get me going and I just go. But I love, thank you very much for providing me with this lovely porch. I want to move in. I was telling the ladies before we started. And happy Earth Day to everybody. And I'll just start with this thought because it is Earth Day. And that is what is good for the planet is also good for our health. It's so interesting how that works out, right? There's so many things, right? Like the whole there's thankfully a movement now to, end the plastic pollution that's going on and whatnot. And plastic is really bad for our health, right? So it's also bad for the planet. And another thing I like to say is, if something comes from nature, it's probably a lot better for you than a lot of what we have come up with in our food. We have a lot of synthetic stuff in our food and everything, but also our products that we use, right? So the closer you are to nature, honestly, the healthier you're going to be and the happier the planet's going to be. So it's kind of a win-win. Whenever you're kind of struggling about what to buy or what to get, that's something just to think about. So anyway, yeah, thank you for having me. The biggest thing is I like to say is, what we don't know that we don't, when we don't know what we don't know, it's very hard for us to make choices, right? Like you can't, people say to be healthy and whatnot, but how do you do that if you don't have the information, right? There are literally people out there that they don't know that the things that they're using, the things that they're eating, the things that they're doing are just have an impact on their health, right? Because we are these chemical beings and so many things play into it. So what I like to do is I like to teach people what I call my 7 simple steps to a healthier you. And these are the main areas in your life that if you follow them, you actually can be healthy, right? And they're very simple things. It's, eat plenty of clean, drink plenty of clean water, eat clean food, have exercise, get plenty of good sleep, detoxify your home in terms of what you're using on your body and in your home, and then reducing your stress, right? We're all so stressed out, and especially this last year, right? It has had a huge impact, right? I mean, we can't, and honestly, like, okay, yeah, let's just start there. You can't take that for granted, right? You can't take the fact that we've all been, we are very connected beings, right? Like we're social beings. We need each other, so the fact that we've been, in this world where we've been socially distant and then have all the stressors of all the finances and whatnot and people being sick. And I mean, that's huge, right? You can't just say, oh, it's no big deal. No, it's going to have an impact on your health, but there are tools that we can use to help us, right? We can't just say, oh, it's no big thing, right? That's where the, things like mindfulness come in, and yoga and meditation and gratitude, right? Like it's people, it's a
Gratitude.
big,
Oh, yes.
it's a
Definitely.
big buzzword right now, but there's a reason it is, because it's scientifically proven that, right? Like if we focus more on what we're grateful for and less on all the trauma in our lives, right? It's chemical, right? It triggers hormones and whatnot. So I'll start there, and I could go off on any one of those pass and tell you more because there's I'm full of information, but so I I don't want, but I could talk for hours. So
Well, one of the things that I don't want to do is I don't want to take this time for you because I've gone through it as well. One of the things that I found out is to hear that message. It's a very scary message. I remember being at work and I got a call from the hospital saying, "Well, we set up an appointment. You need to come in." I had my um, went in and took the test mammogram, and now they're calling me to come back in. Well, why do I need to come back in? And they're so dark with it or what have you. And thank God I had a female doctor, so I called her, Dr. Garcelon. They're telling me I need to come in. I just need to know the information. If it's cancer, then whatever. So she called me back in a few minutes and she said, "Yeah, Dorothy, they said they did find cancer in the breast." Okay. She said, "But I'm going to tell you something. I don't want you to worry about it because I've got a friend that's an oncologist and I'm going to send you to her and then we will get back together and we'll talk." That was such a great relief off for me. But everybody doesn't have that. They don't have
yeah.
that type of a doctor. So
No,
what?
I unfortunately my first time around, yeah, I had a really bad experience with the whole thing because I did that as well. Like so I was called back in for more views and honestly, this wasn't new to me. I had breastfed my two children, I had dense breasts. So they that was a routine for me. Like, in fact, I was really annoyed when they called me back in for more views, and I was like, oh, like, like really, like I didn't even want to go. And they were like, oh yeah, no, you need to come in right away. And I'm like, what? Like they were really urgent about it. I'm like, what? So then I went in and I did the more a million views, and then yeah, they did that thing where they take you in a room and basically say, you need to, and then like you need to do a biopsy right now. And that was also, and then that was horrific. And then I actually had a technician that they're not supposed to do this, but it took hours. And the guy basically told me while I'm on the table, oh yeah, like I was sort of saying like, he said something and I was like, well, I don't even know that it's malignant at this point, right? They're just checked. And he's like, oh no, you definitely have breast cancer. Like you have it everywhere.
Oh,
He told me that while I was still being examined. He's not a doctor. I'm like, what the frick? I was just I got out of there, I was in tears. I mean, it was horrible.
oh my
And
goodness.
then it was a weekend. So I had to wait till Monday for my doctor to call me on the phone and say, yeah, you have breast cancer. And she was very clinical about it. She wasn't a very feeling, she just, it was really bad. So, and you go into shock and all these things. And, yeah, and you can't even think for a long time. So I guess that's the other thing, I feel for so much for women that when you go through that diagnosis, right, you really almost need someone to kind of hold your hand and walk you through it, because it's really overwhelming. I will tell you, my whole life for a year was all about doctor visits and learning, and it's overwhelming. And now I've been through it twice. So and they told me after my double mastectomy that I was done. Like, that's it. You won't get breast cancer again. Like, you'll go through hell, but then you'll be done. And then here I am 8 years later with it happening again. So again, like what they don't tell you, like they weren't really doing me any favors. I actually, I went through a bunch of different doctors, but when it came to the point that I knew more than my oncologist did about how to prevent it, I'm like, okay, there's something wrong here, right? Like I would research things and say, hey, I read that sugar feeds cancer. No, she said, oh, it's fine. You can eat whatever you want. Really? Yeah, no. The same with the deodorant question. I said, I'm reading, I had all these, a lot of times, well, almost most times you will need to get some lymph nodes removed so that they can check to see if the cancer spread. And I was no exception. And so having removed these lymph nodes and learning about the lymphatic system, which I knew nothing about before, but the lymphatic system is basically our toxic drain system, right? It's like our trash cans. And a lot of them end up in place that you have a lot of lymph nodes under your armpits. So what I learned is aluminum, which is a known neurotoxin to our bodies, it just is, that's in every antiperspirant out there. Now, not every deodorant, but almost every antiperspirant. Antiperspirant stops you from perspiring. It clogs the pore, and aluminum is what works that way. So they have different amounts in different brands, but if you look, almost 100% of them that are actually antiperspirants will have that. Now, so I asked her, should I switch? Because I use a regular antiperspirant deodorant. No, it's fine. But really, so again, I was like, okay, clearly this stuff that's just not on their radar. They're just, their job is just to get you,
Medicated.
get you through treatment, right? But they're not really looking at the next step. And what I want to say to women, especially women that have breast cancer, like, please don't go through all that treatment and then just go back to your old lifestyle, right? Because that's the problem with our medicine today, is that it's all about a quick fix, or do the surgery, do the this, do the that, even the chemo and radiation, just get through it and then you'll be fine. Well, no, you have to, it's cancer is a symptom, right? Something in your life caused it, and there's lots of things that can cause it, right? And would you believe, this is my first tip on 3 things people have to know about breast cancer. Only about 5% is genetic. People have this idea that it's all genetic. It's not. It is not. So that means 2 things. One, it means, like, for those people out there that do have it genetically and they're like, oh shit, I'm doomed. Like, for instance, my daughter, like, is she doomed to have breast cancer? No. Just because I had it does not mean she's going to get it. But secondly, for the majority of the population, that 95%, just because nobody in your family's had it does not mean you're not going to get it. So you do have to know what to do. And my number one thing is they really push the mammograms, but mammograms in themselves can cause cancer. So the best thing to do is self-exams. You should be examining your breasts every month, each and every month. And if you're not menopausal, you do it, right. Is it right before or right after your period? Oh my God, I think I'm blanking on that one. But anyway, there's the right time. But if you're in menopause, you do it like the first of the month or whenever you want. But that is so key. Again, that's a case of where you can take it literally, your breast health, into your own hands. It's something you can do. I mean, I found my second lump, and my second breast cancer, and I was regularly going to see my oncologist like every 6 months, and she didn't find it, I did. So what does that tell you, right? I mean, it's just, and even if you go get a mammogram today, your breast can change in a month.
Yeah.
I mean, mine came on really quickly the second time around. It grew very quickly. So, that's my thing. There are other ways to detect that are even safer too, like thermograms, and that people don't know about. That don't have any radiation involved, but you just want to know all these things, right? It's kind of the yeah.
I would say to women that have not had that diagnosis yet, and I pray that you never do, but look, don't just not go because you're afraid of what the results will be, because you can actually wait too long, and then there's no help that we can get, that you can get. Okay. I was lucky. I didn't have to go look for other people. But if you've got a doctor that's not giving you what you need, and they don't have the information that you need, whether it's breast cancer or whatever, then find someone. Keep changing until you find someone.
Yeah.
And
always remember they work for you, right?
We forget that we're paying them to do a service that's not benefiting us. I found out after I had cancer, there were so many women around me that found out that they had breast cancer. So like you, Katie, I was from place to place, platform to platform, talking about breast cancer, and my best girlfriend had it. My sister-in-law had it, and some people that they knew went in to take the exam and got the news that they had it. But knowledge is powerful. Knowledge is so powerful. You need to do your own self exam. You need to make sure that you look up stuff and ask questions on your own. Don't rely on somebody else to give you the information. Get the information
Exactly.
yourself. I found out early that I needed to take sugar sweets out of my diet. I didn't take it all out, but what I did was I learned how to make my own desserts that didn't have a lot of sugar in them, for one thing, and it still was tasting very, very good, you know. And
Yeah,
another
have you ever
thing,
had avocado pudding? Avocado pudding
yeah, my
is
doctor,
really good for you
yeah,
I've
because
my
never
doctor
had it.
cacao,
told, she
yeah,
told me
cacao
no
is good.
yellow cheese. I didn't know that yellow cheese had a problem with my breast cancer. That
Wow.
wasn't a problem for me because I like white cheese, but I even make my macaroni and
Well,
cheese
if you mean the American, if you mean like the processed cheese
right,
product slices,
right,
yeah, don't eat that stuff. That's
yeah,
garbage.
yeah, yeah,
That's not even cheese.
absolutely.
It'll even say on the packaging, processed cheese product,
Absolutely.
i.e. it's not cheese.
Yeah.
Don't eat that.
There's so many things that we can do to help prevent. Will it give you a 100% diagnosis? You won't get it or anything won't happen as far as cancer is concerned? No. There's never a 100% assurance, but you want to make sure that you get so close to it that you can touch it. So let me have you to kind of wrap it up on like what are you doing now to help other women, and how can they connect with you if they've got questions or they just had the the
Diagnosis, yeah.
yeah, that.
Yeah, because a lot of what I do is I also, like I say, I advocate for women because that's a really big part of it. I mean, I have a lot of stories too about asking the right questions. Is very intimidating, to get all this information and even knowing what to ask. I mean, I have clients that are like, like the difference between the different anesthesias or this, that, and the other thing, or can you do it this way? There's so many things, but so you just need someone to walk you through, what it all looks like. I mean, everything from, I literally, first of all, I have a YouTube channel, so you can look me up on YouTube. And I put some videos, like what to do if you think you might have it. Once you big diagnose, like what are the steps you need to take? Like literally there are steps, right? You got to find out about your tumor. You probably have to have it biopsied, but there's better ways than others to biopsy it because there's risks involved with certain biopsies. I mean, again, like they're not going to tell you this stuff. So if you can, the quicker people can get to someone like me, the better, because I can avoid a lot of pitfalls and a lot of heartache. But basically, I do private coaching, and also I'm teaching. I'm a little over halfway through teaching my breast health empowerment course, and it's a 7-week course that is once a week, and each week we do a deep dive into each of my 7 simple steps. So like this week's module is huge because it's the detoxify your home module. Literally, like I'm going to take you room by room into each of your house, your kitchen, your bathroom, and we're going to go through and talk about what's good and what's bad and what, for your health. So, and I also do that. I like, people can hire me just to detoxify their home if they want, but whatever you want. Yeah, I just love to help people. Get the information they need. And then again, like you said, it's up to you what you do with the information. Like when I tell people, I don't tell anybody exactly how to eat or how to live or what to I still eat sugar. I still drink occasionally. Oh, by the way, yeah, alcohol and breast cancer, huge connection. I still drink, but do I drink as much as I used to? No. I used to drink every night. I had wine with dinner every night. I thought wine was okay, right? I didn't know. Now I know, and I can make choices. It doesn't mean like no more sugar or no more alcohol or your life has to be rigid. It just means you take, like, and then you can say, oh, okay, these are the risks, these are the pros and cons, and then you can go forward. But if you don't know what you don't know, you're
Yeah,
really
you
stuck.
just don't know. So that is going to wrap up Katie's talk today. And we're going to ask Kate, in August, I'm starting a membership. It's going to start out as a beta testing free membership. So I'm going to ask Katie to come back and share a workshop with you guys in August on breast cancer and some of the preventions and things like that. So I'll let you know when I've got it up and running and you guys
Great.
can jump in.
Oh,
Okay.
and please also, I guess I'll mention my Facebook page, specifically for breast cancer, is kicking breast cancer with Katie.
Yeah,
It's a group, it's a private group because I want it to be a safe place, but it's for both people that have had a diagnosis and or people that are trying to want to prevent it.
absolutely. I put all that information right below this sign that's behind me so you can find out how to connect and contact with her. We're going to do a porch talk question. We're going to find out what's going on with Katie and mom and dad or grandma and grandpa. So this is the part where the fabulous Camille Robb jumps in.
Oh, it was so beautiful seeing you again and hearing you, Miss Katie. Thank you. You know what? I know you have a beautiful moment when you were sitting on the porch and your grandmother said, Katie, come over here, girl. I have your favorite dessert. And what would your response be?
Oh, gosh, probably anything with chocolate. I love chocolate. It's funny. My grandmother was not a big baker, but she did make cookies sometimes. I know, like really, like she wasn't like your typical, but I think she made some chocolate chip cookies one time that were really good. So I could see her doing that.
Well, that's
See,
okay. That's okay. A lot of times, um, we do, our grandparents are in our lives and sometimes they're not. It may not be the grandmother, maybe the grandfather or
Yeah.
something that they bought for you. I remember my grandfather trying to feed me oysters. He loved oysters.
oh,
He did. He loved them. And that is the one thing that sticks into my mind sitting at the kitchen table and he's got the shell and he's eating them. And he's like, baby girl, this is good for you. Baby girl, you want to taste this? No, baby girl, don't want that. No, baby girl, don't want
No, my memory of my grandmother was she gave me that was it. I think it was like even for my 16th birthday, she gave me like basically a baby pillow. And I couldn't quite figure that one out. I'm like, I'm 16, you're giving me a baby pillow? But I think she just thought it was cute. I don't know. Like, I remember thinking it was really odd. Like it had little ducks on it or something. I can't even remember it. But I just remember thinking, like, what an odd gift to give, like an up and coming woman, right?
that.
but she was a sweetheart. She really was.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. So, can you think of any memorable moment that while sitting on the porch, standing on the porch, it brings something back, a fond memory, a conversation, or just somebody walking by?
Hmm. Um, well, I'm even trying to think if I had a porch. I don't think my house had a porch. That's
Well,
why I'm like, I want this house. I love this porch. This is great. I'm ready to move in. Um, hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, like, I think that's what's lacking in I didn't have a porch.
well, that's okay. You don't have to have a porch,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
You could have been on a friend's porch. There were a lot
Ah,
of friends. I was on their porch sitting and talking and gazing at the handsome boys walking by. That one's gonna be mine. You can have that.
That one.
You can have that
Right,
one.
now I know what's wrong with my life, Dorothy. I didn't have a porch. There you go. It's
You
all
had a
clear.
front
It's all
yard, right?
becoming very clear.
You had a front yard. Front yard is good too.
Yeah, yeah.
That's okay. We're gonna allow you to create some memories on the porch behind you.
There
Okay.
you go.
So no,
I'm ready. I'm moving in tomorrow. I'm telling you. Give me that porch.
since I started Porch Talk Live, what I found out is every so often a memory will come to mind. And I haven't thought about that memory in a long time. Like I was thinking the other day, and I remember standing in the window. We lived up on the second floor. So, and my grandmother always kept the windows open. And I would always go to that window and I would just be there, just looking out. And she would, girl, will you get away from that window? I don't want you to fall out. And I can see her behind me, get away from the window. But you know what? I love God's clean air. I do that now. I get up in the morning, go to the front door, I open up the front door, I breathe in God's fresh air, I close the door
Mm.
and I go back and I
Mm.
start doing some things. But that brings a vivid memory of her back, and that's what Porch Talk is all about. It's bringing back vivid memories now, and sometimes they're good and sometimes they're not good. But I always tell people when they run up on memories that aren't good, what did you learn from it? Did it
Yes.
teach you anything? Is it something that you can share with someone else to keep them from going down that bad memory lane as well? So for us, it's all about being happy. It's all about being positive, and it's all about bringing the memories forward, fond memories, not bad memories, just fond memories. And what I found out is good will always take over bad. Always, okay? You just have to focus on it, bring it out, and even sometimes we have to just say it. So
Yep.
just like with the breast cancer, okay, having the right people to talk to, having the right people to share your information with, it's beyond any words that you can have. So to have a bad diagnosis and not have anybody to talk to.
Yeah, you don't want to do it alone. I mean,
Oh,
there's slogans out there, but you really don't because and there's so much healing power in community. So that's why I tell people, please at least join my Facebook group, whatever. Just get community, get support, and we do that for each other, right? Then we're there's always someone who's thinking of you and
absolutely. When we
all
do
everything, right?
this means
Yeah.
that our time is up.
Okay.
Our time is
Well,
up. I love the conversation. I would love to talk some more and share, but we're going to do that in August. So if you're listening to this now or you're listening at the replay, just keep watch. We're going to have 12 months of workshops, personal workshops. We might add something in about business and definitely, because I'm a pastor, we're going to add something in about church and the Lord and
Amen.
praying and
Amen.
those impossible things that I know when you pray becomes possible. So I am so looking forward to it. I want to thank Camille for coming on today with me. And truly, we miss Annette and we miss Stacy, but hopefully, Stacy will be with us. What are we doing tomorrow? We're doing something tomorrow. I don't know what it is,
Tomorrow.
but we'll be here tomorrow doing something. And I want to thank Katie. We've been connecting for a long time, and I was supposed to be getting Katie on the show or what have you. But I always believe that when the timing is right, nobody has to say a word.
That's
She
right.
she sent me the message yesterday. Am I on tomorrow? We had talked before, and yes. Now it was been difficult before, but it was such an easy transition from yesterday into today. So thank you for coming and sitting with us for a while. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 12 noon Central. And Katie, if you love, you're welcome to come back and sit as we just do a little talking, okay?
Right, great.
All right,
Thank you
it's
so
been a
much for
great
having me.
day. You're so welcome. Look for
Thank
all
you.
of Katie's information at the bottom of this video. We'll talk to you again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye, guys.